Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. As this rotten year slowly comes to an end, it's rather difficult to find things to talk about regarding how MGTOW is affecting the global community, as in everything is shut down and nobody's buying much at all. So I thought I'd have a look on Google and play around with words to see what topics I could find to discuss. By playing around with words, I found this article. It's, as you can see, by a blogger called Solitary Beast, and the article is Stigma Male Self-Improvement. If you go down, you'll see it's titled Femininity is the Ultimate Female Dating Strategy. A lot of these single women, they're also complaining about where have all the good men gone, and they can't find a man anywhere. Well, one of the problems that they ultimately face is if they look in the mirror, the problem is looking right back at them. Because how many of these so-called women feminists are ever displaying any femininity, i.e. actually being a woman? As the article goes down, within the realms of Reddit's infamous female dating strategies, the biggest failure, if I had to pick just one, is they go on and on and on about the requirements of a high-value male. Women of this mindset are very specific about their demands, listing this grooming habits, body type, financial status, and more. However, they never stop to ask, what does a man like that want in a woman? What, in other words, you're an alpha male, 6-figure salaries, better still, you've got your own company, you're a millionaire, multi-millionaire. What does she offer to you? The sense of entitlement involved is typical of modern women. Little girls are taught that they could have it all, great education, high-earning career, Sex and the City lifestyle, which I used to watch. It was interesting, but that's in the past now. Later she decides she's ready. A wonderful man arrives to give her a family, blah, blah, blah. Somehow every single woman believes she's a special princess who deserves a handsome, successful man to appear out of thin air and sweep her off her feet. The real world doesn't work like that. By the way, if you hear any noise in the background, that's the gardeners clearing up all the dead leaves round here. And incidentally, all the gardeners are men, not women. Anyway, it says, the real world doesn't work like that. Tyler Durden, that's Brad Pitt's character here, tried to warn men in the dangers of fantasy in Fight Club, which was a really interesting movie as it employs so many MGTOW messages that are subtle and you got to be switched on to understand them. As a quote, we've been all raised on television to believe that one day we'll all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't. We're slowly learning that fact and we're very, very pissed off. Well, that is a sort of attitude which us guys have with these entitled women who think that they are a prize to get, when in reality it's the man that's the prize. And that movie sort of gave a precursor to the MGTOW philosophy that is currently sweeping the world. And the article goes on. Women experience this disappointment at age 30, one by one, like lemmings diving off a cliff. Women have chosen political correctness over facts. No one is allowed to tell them that their peak sexual attractiveness, their best chance to secure a commitment of high-value man, is a small window with an abrupt ending. Yep, it's from when they turn 18 to when they're about 28. Their window starts to open when they're 16 and they pass the age of sexual consent, and it more or less starts to close on their 27th year as the wall slowly approaches them. As such, when women mature in their 30s, i.e. the wall, and older, i.e. the wall, they are shocked at this simple biological reality. Surprise grows into confusion, then into bitterness, cynicism and blame. A bitter leftover woman sneers at men as childish, immature. All these bitter women also go groups. If you type Feminism Protest 2020, you get the Women's March, and you get things like that. Look at all those women. Which self-respecting guy would want to have a relationship with any of them? Especially if they jumped on the transsexual bandwagon, which incidentally is probably about 0.1% of the population. There's another one. There's in Spain, but then the Spanish always protesting about something, just like the French. And look at that creature. Who the hell would want to wake up next to her, unless you're a lesbian? Anyway, back to the article. She falsely labels men paedophiles. No, I'm not. I'm no paedophile. I'm no incel either, for dating adult women younger than her. In other words, she's jealous that this rich and powerful guy will pick somebody a lot more younger than her, that is more fertile than her. Anyway, she makes unfounded claims that men are intimidated. We've heard all that before, haven't we, guys? By her Bachelor of Arts degree, finance Nissan, Ultima, and pointless job in human resources. No, we're not. A guy wants 3 things in a woman. He wants a woman that he likes the look of. He likes a woman that he can get on with. And more importantly, he likes a woman that likes him as much as what he likes her. That's all a guy wants in a woman. He's not interested in a Bachelor of Arts or a fancy car or what job she does. Guys are not like that. By 35, a never married single woman is disillusioned that the fantasy she was promised hasn't materialized, i.e. she's hit the wall, she looks in the mirror and she doesn't like what's being reflected back at her. She slowly starts to realize that Prince Charming isn't coming. As Ayn Rand wrote, you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. Too right. And then it goes on about a community like FDS and blah, blah, blah. Within the United States, there are currently more single women than at any time in recorded history. In other words, America is wall-to-wall with available pussy. As women become less and less attractive to the average man, i.e. feminists that you've seen those photographs of the protest marches, their numbers will continue to explode. Also, the numbers continue to explode are MGTOWs, as the MGTOW philosophy spreads across America and to a lesser extent more over the world, especially in Brazil, Latin America, and to a degree over here in Europe. Women refuse to look in the mirror to consider their strategies are not working. In other words, the guy doesn't like unfeministic women. Then he goes on about pickup artists. Chris Rock got it right. Women, children and dogs are loved unconditionally by guys. A man is only loved under condition if he provides something. But a dog will love a man unconditionally. Then more about pickup artists. Strategy, dating, why female dating strategies fails. An attractive man knows better than to let a woman sting him along for months without sex. Women wouldn't be attracted to a man that thinks so little of himself. Women, not men, do regulate the sexual marketplace. Then, how women can make themselves more attractive. Shopping risks at women. She wants tall, handsome, rich, muscular, handsome enough to attract multiple women willing to be faithful to just one. He rides a motorbike and has tattoos. He also sensitive enough to write poetry and enjoy the ballet. A thug who loves his mum, etc. Disillusioned women. Modern women, traditional men, and it goes about marriage. In the 50s, my parents, mum and dad, were like that. Dad went out to work and mum raised myself and my two older brothers and stayed at home. Mum did one or two small jobs, but essentially mum stayed at home and dad went out to work to earn a wage. But it says, single modern women despise the traditional feminine gender role. They think it beneath them to care for families and traditional men. They insult and shame women who do. They're just bitter single women who don't like the fact that some women can land a guy and they can't. Now here we go. To attract men, they should have rule number 1, be feminine. Femininity is so rare in modern women, it's almost extinct. I like women to be feminine. I like women to look like women, not like pseudo-men. To me, even though I've always been single and I'm essentially always been a MGTOW, I like women to look like women. They look nicer than women that look like men. Female and gender equalism have deluded women to believe that being feminine and submissive is weak. Nothing could be further from the truth. Femininity is alluring and irresistible. It is a source of a woman's true power. If you look at any of these movies from 1950s America, you'll see that women don't look like pseudo-men. Women look like women in both the way they dress, the mannerisms, and the way they act. And that is how nature intended. But feminists don't understand that because feminists in general are just thick and they just don't really understand men at all. And it goes femininity over everything. Shortly after I started dating my current lover, I met a woman who I should have found more attractive. And femininity is hard to find. And he finishes off, my advice to women: as an attractive, successful man with lots of options, which alpha males do have, I can have what I want in a woman, as all men in my position can. Men have different preferences, body type, hair, blah, blah, blah. My advice to women that want to attract highly upon is to become as traditionally feminine as possible in their mannerisms, dress, appearances, and the way they carry themselves, i.e. like in the 1950s movies. Higher quality man you want, the more demure, soft and feminine you must become. All men love femininity. A man who can have what he wants will demand it. In conclusion, femininity instantly puts you above other women that a man is considering for dating and relationships. A woman that walks into a room with a well-fitted dress, nice heels, and her hair and makeup done in the classic fashion will command the attention of every man in the room, male and female alike. High-quality men will approach a woman like that at greater frequency and take her more seriously than they do. All these top-end, high-end escorts, if you see any pictures of them, you see that all of them all dress like women, and they all follow this rule here. That's what men want. And his advice: if you have short hair, grow it out. If you're overweight, a land whale, you need to slim down. No guy wants a land whale. If you're a woman that's reading this, your current strategies aren't working, and they never will. Femininity is the ultimate dating strategy. You have nothing to lose. Now that's Solitary Beast article. I also found this. I'm not going to go through it. That's a good article. video to watch. Men are awesome. But right at the bottom, reinforcing all what I said, is this guy. If you click on that link for his website, there he is, and you can comment. But he's worth listening to, and he does it in a comical way, but there's an awful lot of truth in that, in what he says. Anyway, I think this video's gone on long enough. It's probably about 10 to 15 minutes, which is a bit too long, as I normally like to keep it to 10, so I'll wrap it up here. But it all boils down to, if women want to get guys, don't complain where have all the good men gone. Just look how women behaved in the past to attract a man, and do what they did, and you will soon get a man who is the prize. Anyway, that's it for this week. I'll carry on this if I find some more next week, but for now, you know the routine. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe, etc. It's completely up to you, so until next Monday, bye-bye.